Oh, now we're not muted. Okay,
Strike two.
sorry. So, hey everybody, welcome to the Hinge Games live stream. We're tonight we're going to be talking about some community development stuff and what we're going to be doing on the future of these streams. Our brand new team member Phil is going to be helping us plan stuff out. Say hi, Phil.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're just getting started. This is Jacques. In case anybody doesn't know Jacques, I'm Bjorn. Jacques the art director. I'm the creative director at Hinge Games. We're working on Dreams Reach. Oh, let me see if I can adjust. Whatever. Jacques' image is slightly obscuring Dreams Reach, but we'll live with that. Uh, we're working on our first indie game, and usually we do these streams on Monday to kind of catch everybody up on what's going on. Today's going to be a bit different. We're going to kind of be planning out more to do on these streams, and kind of talking about what our plans are. I think Jacques Jacques literally got his camera up and running
sorry
3 minutes
about
ago. So we'll first time around we'll do better next time. But I think so. The first thing I think we should talk about is basically, actually, let me go to, oh yeah, if I go to, wait, if I switch from studio mode, okay, yeah, now I can adjust stuff. There we go. And let's see. So, do you want to open up the notes,
that.
Jacques?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
And what we'll do, we'll talk about. Let's see. So I just renamed the thing to stream notes. Let me talk about that. Let's see. I'll move you out of the way a bit. Yeah, I
I
got to
can
put a
actually move
mask on you or
more
something.
over.
Yeah. Oh well, you can see what the notes are, but we can scroll down
All
a
right.
bit. But yeah, this will be talk. We'll talk about. So I think the first thing, the first idea we had was, actually I could raise you up now. But the art stream. Do you want to talk about doing an art stream and like what that's gonna
Yeah.
be?
I think in the future we're gonna start probably streaming process of art. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that other artists.
Ooh, you're cutting it in and out a bit. Can you turn up your volume, or I'll see if I can turn you up.
Yep. Is that better?
A bit better. Move it a bit closer to your mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so one of the things is like pretty common in the art community is just kind of do like an art stream of the sculpting process. And just so from time to time when I'm kind of creating an asset in 3D, it's probably one of the most visually kind of stimulating things to look at, and we could probably talk about it. People could chime in with different things, like different techniques or different. If it's something that artists are interested in watching, or if people
Mm-hmm.
are just kind of interested in learning more about the 3D process, then it's something they could kind of tune into.
Okay, yeah. And this isn't just going to be
Yeah.
characters. This is going to be like other like environmental pieces
Yep.
and things like that too,
hmm
right?
Yep. Anything that's kind of brought into ZBrush. So for me, it's probably going to be most props, interactive objects, even a lot of the background stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even a lot of kind of the background stuff I do in Z. I do have a ZBrush pass as well, so it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be fun. It'll be fun if it's your thing.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Uh,
yeah, we'll try to run that once I start making more 3D assets. We're pretty. Yeah, we have to do a pretty big art push, so there's going to be a lot of it in the upcoming year.
yeah, cool. And you'll so
Yeah.
you because you're on contract right now that ends just before Christmas time, so that we'll be starting this in January.
Oh well, actually, it ends in pretty much February 1st.
Oh, February 1st is when it ends. Okay, cool. All right.
Well, yeah,
Is that
it's going to be
and
part
then
time for a bit. So
wait? So it's going to be when does part time start then?
part time starts in January, so I'll have some
January.
time to work
Okay.
on it. So,
Mhm.
but I think I'll be, yeah, I have a lot of other things to kind of get underway there. It's
Mhm.
also another one of those things where we could depending on what people are interested in, I could maybe shift towards that because I'm learning how
Mhm.
to do a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure if learning something is something anyone is interested in watching. But I know that, like for instance, I've never used the particle effects editor in Unreal, so
Okay,
me
yeah.
learning how to do effects might be interesting to some people.
Cool,
But
yeah.
otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Otherwise, it'll be pretty much stuff I'm pretty well versed at doing. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just so you know, Phil, Jacques, I posted a link to the note stock in the Slack in case you weren't sure where it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Cool. All right. So what else? Another thing I was thinking we could do, because I'm like trying out this setup. Basically, what we want to do is, because we obviously can't meet in the same space while in COVID, and we don't know what we're based in Montreal, and it's one of the hotspots in Canada, in North America right now. So we're going to be doing this remotely. We're working on a setup here where we can kind of have like Jacques in one corner, me in another. It might get kind of weird with Phil. We might be able to put him in the middle, looking straight at the camera. We'll sort something out, but kind of something that makes us look like we're kind of in the same space and having a conversation and looking at the same thing. Like you can see here with the doc. Another thing I was thinking we could do is like, if we wanted to do another kind of stream, we could do something that's along the lines of I don't know if any of our viewers are familiar with a YouTube channel called Linus Tech Tips. Oh yeah, yep. If we put a sword in Phil's hand, that will absolutely work. We should. That's actually
You could just
something I was
put
thinking of doing.
you could just put a sword back there, and it'd be me. It'd be fine.
Just a sword.
So
We'll mat everything out but your mouth around the hilt of the sword, and then you'll just see that talk. That works. But actually,
that would be kind of horrible. I like it.
I think it would be unsettling for sure. But yeah, like Monday, we're still going to be doing these streams talking about the game development and kind of going over the things we've built that week. We're kind of struggling. If anybody in the chat has anything specific you'd like to know about game development, we'd be happy to do like a Q&A. Or if there's any part of it you'd like to see, we're happy to do topics on specific things. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the other thing was like we could kind of keep an eye on the top stories of the week and do like a weekly show on another day that's just like the three of us talking, or like, and we could have guests on and stuff too, but just talk about like what our opinions are and the hot takes. Like, so the one I have here, you can see Cyberpunk. We could talk about that. It's been pretty controversial. This is their apology statement for the PS4 and Xbox One version. We're not necessarily going to talk about it right now, but this is a great example of something Jacques and I could talk about, being in the industry for so long, and then having people like Phil who are kind of interested in getting in, like ask us questions. And Phil and the other Phil, there's usually two Phils. Well, usually there's only one Phil, but now we have a different Phil because there was a different Phil before. We could have had two Phils tonight, but the other Phil is MIA. I'm not sure what Phil did with him, but you know, it's life.
Have you ever seen them in the same place? I have.
Yeah, right.
No, I have not.
He just has a Quebecois accent all of a sudden. I don't know.
He does. The other Phil did go to French immersion. He speaks French. He hasn't spoke in a while because he lives in Calgary and he doesn't practice very often. But
we might be the same person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going as far as topics go, we'll also try and have community polls every now and then on our Facebook page. Yeah. So if you want to look that up on Facebook, on our Facebook page, Hinge Games, every now and then I'll make a post about what you want to see and what's coming up next. And don't hesitate to comment or send us messages. Poll takes 2L and not an E, Bjorn, because we are not a community of Polish people.
I'm terrible with spelling. Usually, no, not polks. There we go, polls.
This is also why I'm here. So yeah, don't hesitate to send us a message, comment on our Facebook posts. We'll gladly take all of your suggestions down, and we'll try to talk about everything if we can, but we'll see how much time we have for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'd probably have loads of time, because the thing is, like, we're doing these weekly streams, we're going to talk about the stuff we're doing, but, like, it's, as we saw from the last stream, I can talk very fast and go through a lot of the game very quickly. Yeah. I Spy Cosplay. Phil is better at English than I am, clearly. But that's actually, I don't know, like, because we have, like, one of the things that in our game is a dojo and you practice stuff. I don't think any of our sword fighting is very realistic. But we could, I don't know, get Phil's take on that.
I mean, I don't play video games to have realistic sword fighting, right? That would be like watching Star Wars to see how life works. This is not
That's true. That's
real
true.
life.
That's pretty.
So,
We could also rename the dojo to make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Dojo is usually a place to practice. Literally, an Egyptian goddess teaching you how to fight medieval weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna adjust this a bit because the
Yeah,
fact
I know.
that I'm that
I've
much
been
bigger.
adjusting it. Yeah.
No, but the fact that I'm that much bigger than you is kind of bothering me. I'm like, why am I twice the size of Jacques?
Well, I kept on changing it because I looked like a thumb. Like this looked like me
Yeah.
for a little while, right? So
Yeah.
trying to readjust the angle on it. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we got hot takes on weekly news stuff, community polls. Learning what else is there? Because like we want to avoid spoilers. Like I could talk about what I did last week, but we want to avoid too many spoilers. I actually had a really productive week. I finished about so there were initially I set out to make about 18 side quests. I made a big spreadsheet of all the side quests. I have most of them done. There's only 8 left, but in total there were 26. So I finished off quite a few more than I finished off 18 actually, and there's 8 left now. And that's a lot of things like writing because there's dialogue for all the quests, and then there's also like there's the dialogue, but then there's also the logs in your when you pause the menu and look at your quests. There's all the writing that goes into that. There's unique gameplay for each quest. So there's like one where you turn big, and the only way to and it's like you're looking for the thing that turns you into a giant and you double in size, and then another one where you shrink, and it's like the only way to get into this one area is to shrink down super small so you can sneak through a little hole. And then other stuff where it's like you need to set things on fire and you need to figure out how to use this fire and things like that. Lots of unique gameplay. It's going to show off like because you don't necessarily need to do a lot of this stuff when you're playing through the main path, but this is all side quest stuff to encourage you to see all the game has to offer. It's pretty cool.
I find that previously speaking a lot about kind of like a show and tell, and I'm not necessarily sure if that's what we want to do. We do want to kind of talk about the development.
You're kind of cutting in and out, Jack.
God damn it! Can you hear me? Okay, I really have to get this thing changed.
Yeah.
Get the setup changed completely.
Jack's been having a problem with his audio since day one.
Yeah, so one thing that I would say is previously on our stream, we were kind of using it as a show and tell, I guess. And rather than kind of do that, we do kind of want to think change more kind of what people want, both developers or other developers interested in.
You're still cutting out a lot.
I think we're going to... Okay.
Because that's a Bluetooth headset. Like, where's the other end of it? Where's the dongle? Is it dongle have a clear line of sight to your headset? Oh, Shark's gonna reconnect.
I think where he was going with that is maybe have a better eye on the production process and the development process instead of just showing off the tech that we have right now on hand, right?
Yeah. Oh, there I am. There we go. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We can talk about like the larger scale things we're doing rather than sort of the individual stuff.
Yeah, and maybe like poking under the hood a bit. I mean, that's also what's interesting in these development streams, right? Is being able to see and notice what's like how the game that we all want to play works. In addition to just seeing parts of like the gameplay in and of itself.
Okay. Yeah, like I could talk about some of the stuff that's done architecturally. Sure. Yeah, I'll have to look at my setup because the thing is, like, I'll switch this over to my debug view. Let's see here. So doom. So here, and if I hide, so don't need the gamepad and don't need standalone. So here, like this is my work setup, and it's I think because I work, this is almost 4K. It's not quite because it's a bit cropped, but it might be hard to read on a 1080p stream. But I guess I don't know. We could try it out, and I could kind of like go through how I built everything. That could be pretty interesting, and that could fill a lot of time. And I could go like system by system, like how I set up our save system and how we iterated on it and things like that to make it more fun. Like it used to be, we used to have big gaps in between save points, and then I had a few friends play it, and they ran into a bug, and I was like, "Oh, no problem, just load your last save because the save system works." And they loaded their last save, and this was a long time ago, man. So, but also, actually, the interesting thing about that is we don't, because one thing, I guess I'm going into that now, because like one thing we don't always reload the save. We actually like just kind of like fade out and then reset the scene without reloading anything. And then like if you die in a combat, we don't actually give a reload. It fades out and fades back in, and the reason it takes so long after you die to reload, and it's only like 3 seconds, is the death animation for the player is about 3 seconds long. So we just wait for the death animation to play out, and then we fade to black and then fade back in, and it takes like a tenth of a second to actually reload everything. Pretty sweet. Okay, now Jack's pretty short. I gotta like raise him up.
No, I've been backing up because of my thumb thing. We'll get there. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No. Well, this is honestly, this is way better because it was originally just going to be me and then two like faceless voices. So at least now we have it looks like I'm talking to somebody, sort of.
Yeah.
Almost. It's getting there. We'll mat out your background and we'll do some stuff and we'll reposition it. But actually, we'll also order you a camera off of Amazon.
Yeah.
So we could actually get some decent video. Yeah. The fast respawn. It's surprisingly quick, and it really changes the dynamic of the game because it's way less punishing to get into a fight you're not ready for. Because it used to, you go all the way back to the last save point. Now it's like you try and you fail, and you're like, well, I'll try again a couple of times, and then if it doesn't work, you go somewhere else. And it doesn't even feel like you failed compared to what it was before. Also, hi, Cletus24. Welcome to the stream.
It's Celsius, not Cletus, but it's he's one of my friends from my fencing school, actually.
Oh, cool.
So yes, you can try different strategies. The strategies are, well, I mean, the way I play the game is already way different than the way Bjorn plays the game. Like I'm more of a glass cannon, keep my kind of take as long as I need, but play it safe. Whereas I think Bjorn plays more melee and kind of just goes for it.
Oh, I'm constantly switching up because there's like there's enemies. Like we have a ton of different kinds of enemies, and like some of them block, so you need to do different attacks too. It's not exactly a parry. Like we have certain attacks that will break their block, and then other ones that do more damage, and then other ones that pierce armor, and other ones that are just basic attacks. So you kind of switch up which attacks you're doing to like maximize your damage, and guys are stunned for a second after they're blocked. And you can dodge through them while they're blocked and then hit them from behind, and they take more damage from behind. Not all of them. The turtles actually have a shell on their back, so they take 0 damage from behind. There, 0 damage from behind. Yeah, there's loads of different strategies, and you can always respec. You can go back to the hub and respec your character and change all your points, so you can be a tank, or you can have tons of stamina, or evenly spread everything out. Yeah, and it's so it's 4-player co-op. I can actually like put on some of the stream here. I got the hide Chrome. And what do we got here?
By the way, all of this art is placeholder, so we're gonna do another art pass. This is nothing.
Oh my god, this has been running for a while. So I should turn off loot in the main menu. Those guys shouldn't be dropping loot. Nobody can pick up any of that loot. Let's see. So, yeah, I just go into the dungeon builder. Probably the easiest thing.
A
Oh, you
massive
can't even...
head is covering up player 1.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta change that, man. Because like if we mat out everything around your head, and then it's like you're properly positioned, then, yeah, you should be able to see most of it. Let's see. I'll just put you down here. I'll put myself down there too. So it's like I guess if we're playing, then I'll do this. And
By the way, most of the streams that I've been watching, I
Mhm.
think the streamer is probably less than a tenth of the size, and that kind of helps a lot.
oh
Yeah,
well,
like
that's the thing is like because the thing is like this is a different setup. Like my Unreal stream,
Yeah.
like I'm this big, right?
Yeah.
But our Unreal setup, like, or this is our interview setup where it's mostly supposed to be us talking. So if it's me
okay.
just playing the game,
Got
then it'll
it.
look like this. But if
Got
it's
it.
us talking, then it's more about us having a conversation than reviewing what the game is.
Right.
And I could even I could even do that, and then okay, let's do this, and then live editing my Unreal. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's Jacques. Oop.
Yep.
That's
me. Hey,
Yeah.
it's all me.
What am I editing here? Okay.
I was over on this side because
There we go.
I want to take up less of the square, but that's probably.
Oh, I can just do this.
Hey.
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Whoa! I'm in a box. I'm in a box. Somebody
Yeah.
get me out of here! All right.
You would be the worst mime in the history of the universe, Shock.
All right. Set up a quick dungeon. Do some combat here. All right. So.
Maybe you should say a quick word about the dungeon builder now that you're in it.
Yeah, sure. So, our game is. I'll just show you a bit. Like, so, our game is kind of a dual stick shooter. Like, you can move with one stick, shoot with the other. And there's a melee system as well. If you hold down trigger, you enter melee mode. And then there's a bunch of combos where you saw me do some of them there. Like, I can do different moves depending on how I like. If I swoosh the sticks around or if I tap them in a certain direction. And they take
They're more like
stamina. You
special
can see the
attacks
green
and
meter.
combos.
Right, they're not combos, they're special attacks. Because it's only really one move. It's combos from button combos, but they're not even combos. You're doing... Oh, wait, yeah, I can turn on the gamepad, I guess. But I think that's behind Jock right now, so there's like... Okay, so here's the gamepad I'm doing. So you can see, like, I'm moving the sticks around, and that's what does the combo. And same thing, like... Or that's the combo I'm doing, but it's a special attack. It's like throwing a fireball in
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. But we also have like puzzles and stuff like that. And this is our dungeon builder. We have a procedural dungeon system, but we actually exposed a bunch of stuff for players. So there's a UI where you can build your own stuff. So here I'll just put in an empty room at the start because I have a puzzle and then some combat there. So I can get empty rooms and I'll just place one there. And you'll basically be able to build. So there's like, this is a, whoa, go down here. So this is an empty room. This will be a puzzle room. This is a combat. This is another puzzle room. This is a boss fight, the big green frog going over showing everybody, and then treasure at the end. So now I can run down and try it out. And it'll take... Oh, and I added credits to the dungeon. So you can see, like, when you go into somebody's dungeon, it'll say who made the dungeon. And then when you walk into a puzzle room, it'll say who made the puzzle.
Can I ask you something about the development of these rooms?
Yeah.
Are there any kind of things that make a good... Like, what are the things that make a good puzzle?
Oh, sorry. Basically, I'd say the most important thing of having a good puzzle is you kind of get somebody to use an object in more than one way. And what that usually means is, so like you use an object once as part of the puzzle, and then there's another, and you think you've completed the puzzle, but then you stumble across something that you don't immediately make the connection, but you're like, oh, that thing I used before, now I have to use it again, but in a different way.
Interesting.
That's usually, yeah. Like, that's what we did a lot of Tomb Raider puzzles, is like, you had to go back to a thing you had used before, but use it slightly differently in a way you had to predict. Because what typically happens is, once you use one element in a puzzle, then, didn't quite make it. This is interesting now, because I guess, I don't remember giving you air control, but now I have to press over to actually move over. And so, basically, to solve the puzzle, you have to step on the golden switch. There's a few different kinds. There's ones that, like, switch from left to right. And we also have a fire system. As you guys saw, like, basically, the torch started on fire, and then the wind blew the fire, and then blew up all the stuff. And then we have water as well. Like, water would put out fire if it got in the way or anything like that. And then there's physics-based stuff where it's like, do the leap attack. It launches the... whoop! I suppose I have to turn this thing off, because the wind will push you around. But yeah, wind will blow around fire and the player and push blocks, and then if you do the leap attack, you can launch it up into the air, and then, like, if I put it over here, actually, let's do this, because I've already solved the puzzle, so I don't really need to, then yeah, I have, like, this is a special ability you unlock, and this is, you can see the moves I'm doing to actually input this cleave attack. It's a combo. And then go do a leap attack here. Boom. And then that pushes it over there. And then actually, no, I wouldn't have broken it, because I can go around this side, and I can push it back if I need to. And now it's just kind of broken. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Still solvable. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you also have to plan these things around players being idiots, right?
So I do. And that's something is very important to me when I'm building all these puzzles, is I have to make sure that no matter what the player does, they can solve the puzzle. You can never get it into a state where it's impossible to solve. And I've tried to make that the case for our puzzle builder, because that's actually the room I was just in, so I can just press B at any time to go back to the menu. But, so Dungeon Builder's part of it. The other thing is Puzzle Builder, and you can actually, like, players can build their own puzzles. And it's entirely possible that a player could build a puzzle that becomes impossible at some point. But the thing is, like, basically there is a verification process. So this one, I think... might be possible. Like, if you got the block all the way over here and it was down, actually you can still push it out. But, like, if a player wanted to, they could make something that became impossible if you made a mistake. But we want to have, like, a tag and review system and stuff like that, so, like, if somebody makes a puzzle like that, it'll get a lot of negative reviews and not a lot of people will see it. But also, something we should be able to build in relatively easy is a reset. So if you ever get... if you ever make a puzzle that's... actually, I should just be able to go back down. If you ever run into a puzzle that becomes impossible, you should just be able to reset it relatively easily.
Yeah, and then,
So
then
out of
again...
curiosity,
Go ahead, John.
are there any things that make a bad puzzle, even if they follow all those rules?
I'd say that the most important thing, the thing that could make a puzzle really bad is just if it's really tedious. Like, something I try and watch out for is... Actually, yeah, I'm about to get this puzzle in a state where it can't be completed. See, now there's no way to get the fire from this thing over to this. So now if I do this, like, this puzzle cannot be completed now. There's no way to set the rest of the things on fire. But the thing, if you follow all those rules, the thing I would say is like, say this push block, for example. Like, something that would make this not a very fun puzzle is if you had to hit it like 20 times to get it to like move it through a maze or something like that. And you're just constantly doing like the cleave attack to try and get it, or it's like it's like awkwardly positioned, and it's like I need to get it around this corner, but it's just a pain in the ass to get. And so there's a lot of little things like that. I actually have helpers, so like, let's, so yeah, I have helpers here, so, do I? Ooh, it didn't unload the dungeon. That's a bug. But I have little helpers for, let's just go back in, for those push blocks, for example, so I can go, where? Set verification. I think I might. Yeah, I'm just gonna run down and back up because I think it's gonna get started. Blah, blah, blah. Down and head back up. Oh, going back, Celsius, Celsius? How do you pronounce that, Phil?
Celsius.
Celsius? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Okay. So going back to your question about jumping directly on the golden switch, you can't with the leap attack. Basically, you can only move on flat surfaces with the leap attack. You can't get up onto things.
And if visually that doesn't make sense, I'll fence it off with art.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't worry about that visually making. Like, there's a point where we just had to be like, this is a game. That's an ability you have. So, but yeah, as I was saying, we have these, like, little attractor things, so if you need help placing this, you can, like, put these down when you're building a puzzle. Because I think most people, like, the puzzle they're going to want to build is one that people are going to have fun with, and it will be challenged with and enjoy. And then there will be, probably a subculture that, like, you see with Mario Maker, where it's like, oh yeah, there's a race to make the most difficult level that nobody can beat. And I actually saw a video about that where somebody was talking about, oh yeah, you could make a puzzle that it's basically like a combination lock, and it's just basically like if people don't guess the combination, they won't be able to complete the level. And it's like, oh, there's 10 digits, and each one could be a value of 1 to 10. So it's like it's in the trillions of like how many things it could be.
I've noticed that there's also the ability, some of the other puzzles I've designed, there's the possibility of one of those thread the needle type puzzles where you have to time something so minutely accurate and cross like a gap that would pretty much take like a few thousand tries to get. Like a
Yep. Oh god, there were a ton of those in Mario Maker. Those are really frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having that kind of puzzle with a timing, it can be really interesting, but you have to make it achievable for the common man, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing that's interesting about that is, like, I've done a few things like that, and then we actually have a time stop ability where you can basically, like, so one of the things that it's used for is in this, I get a time stop, and then it raises up, and I get to ride the water up. So if you make something that requires precise timing, or you want to make something that requires precise timing, you need to take the time stop ability into account. The other thing you can do with the time stop ability is basically walk across water. Come on, can I do it? Nope, not quite. Oh, missed it. One more try. Still haven't looked at the combat. That's the whole reason we went in here. Alright, here we go. Which way was the combat? Probably this way. Okay, yeah. Ooh, small one.
But kind of going back to what you were saying about, at some point usually I find that one of the better uses of, one of the important things of art direction is to kind of make things look like they're supposed to happen. Because if you have too many things where you invisible collisions and you run into it, that's kind of on art. So if I can fence that off just to make it look like it can't go there, that's probably
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, because we're going to have, like, like you can't jump over things that are, I think, half a meter is what we're doing, is
Yeah.
what we're using for the railing right now, and it's just kind of a shorthand. Generally, it should just be a shorthand, and it'll be like, if there's anything that's interesting behind it, then we need to put up a bigger barrier that's like, it's clear why you can't get over this. But generally, if it's just like, yeah, whatever, there's nothing interesting back there, it's just a black void like there is down there. It's like, well, you don't need a huge justification for why you can't go there.
But then maybe we should actually consider doing animations keep off screen. Maybe we should do animations of keep off screen that they're just kind of jumping about that high, floating.
Oh, you mean for like the leap attack?
Yeah, or I don't know. I do wonder if that's going to be confusing. Leap off the screen, kind of prohibiting.
Sorry, you're cutting out, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's annoying.
just enunciate.
Okay, so I think it's one of those things where maybe the visual language of the leap has to be fixed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Maybe that just can be done in the animation. That's all. Because once you leap off screen, maybe the player might think that you can you can land anywhere, right? So just kind of artificially imposing those rules that don't follow the visual language might be one of those things.
Yeah.
You might have to might have to work on.
Yeah. So.
And even,
well, the thing is, like, I don't mind, because we have the targeting thing, right? When you do the leap, you have the targeting thing, and it just shows you where you can and can't go. And I think, well, I mean, it's something we can playtest, and we'll definitely have to playtest, but basically, so I don't think I'm high enough level to beat this guy anymore, because I'm only level 5.
oh boy.
And I haven't spent any points.
That's final art, by the way.
It's final art. Everybody loves it, man. We're sticking with it.
Yeah. That's final art right there.
And I did disable your ability to do combos while inside of him, so I'm probably gonna have to rebalance it now. But the thing I'll say about the leap is, like, we can playtest it, but I think, because it's a game and it's a very gamey kind of game where you get all these abilities that let you do weird things, and it's like, we don't really need to justify the physics of you do the leap attack and launch something in the air, and then you get launched in the air, and it's like, does it really make sense?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, someone understood some of my words. Oli, 3090. Thank you very much, Oli. That means a lot.
Somebody understands, Jock. It's important.
Someone at least tries, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh god, yeah. There's no way I'm gonna be able to beat this guy now. I'm gonna have to play through the game again to check what the balance on this is, because I take damage. The only way to damage this boss is if you let him eat you, and then you can damage him from the inside. I can't actually hurt him from the outside. Everything just bounces off. So I have to let him eat me.
Because everyone knows that's how frogs work, right?
Yeah, that's the only way to hurt a frog, man, is from the inside.
That's dark and grim. Is that why you make, like, some people make frogs smoke? Because they want to damage them from the inside?
Smoke? What?
You've never heard that? People,
I lost the thread on this one.
People making frogs smoke cigarettes, so they inflate and eventually die. So yeah,
I've not heard of that. Oh man, this is bad. This is bad. I gotta I did 5% damage to him.
Also, don't make frogs smoke.
Ooh.
It's bad.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's bad. I wonder what just happened there.
You're out of bounds. I can tell you that.
Yeah, because basically what happened was must have been a collision problem where my collision didn't get turned off when he swallows me. Because if he swallows me and my collision's still on, I'm gonna keep pushing him away, and I just pushed him off screen, and now while he's eating me, I move off screen, and then it just snaps me back to that's why I'm in the center of the screen there, because it's trying to teleport me back to the center of the screen because I am off screen right now. Ooh, that's a bad bug. Thought I fixed that. I'll have to double check. Okay. But yeah, that's our quick reload system. So that's how long it takes after you die in combat to reload, and then you don't have to fight again. You can just leave. Ah, come on. There we go. Yeah.
Is he still bugged out though?
No, he gets destroyed and then he respawns. So it's like a
Okay.
new version of him. All right. So
That makes sense.
I'll try one more time.
There you go.
Okay, but I have points to spend, so I'm going to spend these points on damage so I can do more damage. Alright, and then I'll just get out of the way of his attacks and try getting rid of some of this fog. Nope, didn't eat me. Not spawning guys either. I should check and make sure. Oh crap, there's no way I'm going to survive this now. Oh, yep, I'm dead. Yeah, I'll have to check on that because he's not spawning guys anymore. He should be spawning waves of enemies, but he's not doing it right now. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about? Anybody else have any questions?
Curiosity. Stream to.
Oh,
Are you guys?
cutting out again.
Are you guys? Are people in the stream? Are you guys devs or are you gamers or are you like? What's the makeup of the stream crowd? Or just people interested? Are
Well,
there
I
more than
got-
one character?
Like player
Like more than
character?
one player character? Nice.
Here, I'll quit out to go back to the main menu. Basically, we have a character creation system, so you can make your own character. We don't have a ton of stuff right now. There's like a few different hairs you can have, or you can be bald. And then a bunch of different skin tones, eye colors, armor color, stuff like that. I'll just go in and go through that right now. Jock's head shouldn't be in the way anymore.
Yeah,
And
I've
it
got a
is,
couple of my friends in here, and I think
Mhm.
one or two maybe devs, and most of them are just nerds.
Cool.
Right.
Oh, I didn't update the stream information. Oh, well. So, yeah, 40 minutes in, I'll just update it. Let's see. Okay, so we're not doing exotic gameplay. Date and information. Cool. All right. So
No, you're just a boy. It's actually a story-based game, so where there's a reason why you're human.
yeah, you're just a human. You're basically the narrative is basically your kid who's looking for his or her lost dog, and you could be like, so boy or girl, and you're like 8 years old, and you just kind of end up in sort of an Alice in Wonderland, Spirited Away kind of scenario where it's like you end up in this magical realm and on a big adventure. So yeah, but you're just a human and you meet characters from other mythologies, like basically like there's Neith is one of the characters. You meet Odin, you meet Inanna, she's from Babylon. There's some Celtic brothers, Brian, and a few others. I can't remember how to pronounce her name. And Momotaro, if you're familiar at all with it. And it's kind of like if you're familiar with Sandman at all, there's a there's three. Can you change? So the question is, can you change your weapons, or does it just change the visuals? There's three different melee weapon types, and those right now we only have two animation sets. I can actually, can I enter the weapon gym from the main menu? Let me just check that. Arenas. No, I cannot. I removed the gyms option from the menu. Give me a second here. And I will load up the weapons gym. Basically, we have two animation sets, but we're going to have three weapons total. So there's, for melee, there's a heavy sword, which starts off really slow, but the longer you're using it, like you keep spinning it around and around and around, and your animation gets faster and faster and faster, and you do more damage. There's the javelin, which is mostly what you saw me using. Or not javelin. There's the spear, And there's the twin swords, which are like super fast and zip you around really fast, and they're all going to use different animation sets, and you can kind of tell the difference between them now because we did put in the speed throttle or the speed ramping on the sword. It's using the same animation as the spear right now, but in the end, it'll be a different animation that gets a lot faster as you go. So, try launching this.
And there's also the ranged weapons. There's 3 kinds of ranged weapons as well, and they all kind of work a bit different than each other.
Yeah,
yes, they can
yeah.
all do.
So there's 3 different special attacks for range. There's 3 different special attacks for melee that are specifically oriented towards puzzles. There's a lot of extra ones that are just for combat. But all the ones, like there's the cleave attack, which pushes those blocks around. There's the leap attack, and there's the spin attack. And every melee weapon has a version of that. They look slightly different though. And then there's the same thing for all the range stuff. There's an explosive shot, there's a bounce shot, and there's the multi-shot. And all your combos also work with those. So, I didn't have a... Okay, I got to drop in. There we go. Here we go. So yeah, what I'm using right now is the spear. You can see I have all the cleave and stuff like that. And then... So I'll give you an example with the explosive shot. One of the nice things is, like, since our combo system works with this, I can shoot, like, a bunch of explosive shots. Or just launch them up into the air. I guess I can't really launch them. Explosive shots move a lot slower. And then
another thing to mention is as you walk backwards and fire a projectile, it's actually weaker than walking forward and firing your projectile. I'll probably have to make it look smaller. I'll probably have to make the projectile smaller when you fire it and bigger when you walk forward.
Oh, that makes sense.
So there's a visual difference.
Yeah, I could do that. Like, it's an easy scale thing. Because basically, yeah, your velocity inherits the projectile inherits a bit of the player's velocity. So it's moving a bit faster and does more damage when you're running forward, and it's moving a bit slower when you're running backwards. And it'll do less damage.
I mean, gameplay-wise, it also forces you to get in there and not just kite enemies all the time, right?
Oh, yeah. It feels so good to, like, charge towards an enemy and then just, like, do a shotgun attack, and you're just doing so much damage. Oh, and something else.
See the numbers come up.
Yeah, I think I got a combat up here. But another thing too is, I'll show it up here. So in our combat, we have all the different attacks that you can do. And, oh crap, nope, this is bad, because I don't have the nav mesh, so I can't show it off. But like, this attack, like these things that are sticking in the ground, they'll actually block enemies. So like, if you're getting overwhelmed, throw up a bunch of these, and then that'll, like, basically lock them in place, so they can't block you. Give you a bit of space. But yeah, it's like fun to chunk up and just do things. And yeah, these guys, like, if I'm attacking and they block, these guys block. Some enemies can block, some can. But yeah, if they're blocking, then you do like a spiral attack, anything that's a 180 or 360 on the stick, on either melee or ranged. So if I do I have a spin attack? Yeah, so I can do a spin attack. Or I can just do like the simple one. Like, so this one you have from the start, and then the spin attack is one of the big abilities you get that'll help you. And then yeah, you, like if I do the cleave attack, like the cleave attack pushes blocks, but it also pushes enemies. And now they're off screen. They should die if they stay off screen long enough. This is just a test map. They normally, yeah, because the nav mesh is broken. So, just kill that guy. Okay. And if I do the leap attack, I should flatten them. Oh, they all died. Too quick to see. Yep, that damages enemies, but also, like, you couldn't really tell it because it pushed them all off screen, but it's like, yep, they take a bit of damage. It'll also break their block. So they can't actually block it. And if you have one of those push blocks, you can push it over it. If you push it at an enemy, it'll flatten an enemy. The thing is, like, the leap attack does a lot of damage. It's pretty funny because it's kind of like, oh yeah, you can kind of see it there. Like, it's kind of like in Mario Kart when you run somebody over, they just get flattened. and then they'll like pop back up when they when it's over.
And then you have another question here about the difficulty scaling with the number of players and how people join in the middle of
like
your session.
Yep, it fully supports drop-in, drop-out gameplay. The other thing too is the way all of the abilities work is it evenly distributes them among all the players. So like I could be playing through the game by myself and I get all the abilities, but then if a friend drops in, he'll get half of the abilities. He or she'll get half of the abilities. And then like so when you're solving a puzzle, it's not just one guy doing all the work. You need to work together, and everybody has a role. And then if you drop in 4 players, so you could be playing by yourself and then have 3 friends come over and all drop in, and like it'll basically it'll give them all weapons and stuff like that that's appropriate for whatever point you're at in the game. Because there's tons of different weapons. Wait, yep, couch co-op. Let me just reload this level because I don't think that combat's gonna end. Well, so the thing about online is like, we're gonna need funding if we want to go online, because right now Jacques and I are basically doing contract work to fund this, but we'll need to find some external source of funding if we want to do online co-op, I think. Because well, online is really tough. But the thing is, I have network online working, but then all the stuff with like the APIs for like the interfaces for like Steam, and if we want to do so actually this is a good example here. So there's no players in the game right now, and this is what the drop-in menu looks like. So I can select a pre-existing character, or I could just make a new character, and it just randomizes a bunch of stuff for me. So I can just drop in, and then so what it's doing here is like I have LAN working. I haven't tested it in a while, but I've tested it on LAN and had like players on both screens running around and stuff. But like networking, like setting on like over online networking, it's like pretty difficult. But so just to go over the drop-in stuff, like so I select my armor color, and then what you do when you make a character is you select a preferred element. So there's like fire, earth, lightning, water, and wind. And so it'll select an element, and then you select your preferred armor type. So there's light, medium, and heavy. Light, you move super fast. Heavy, you just move slower but take less damage. So I'll go light. And then it just creates a random character for me, basically. And then, so I can start playing and play for hours with my friends. And like it'll save this character. But it'll also, next time we start a new game, in the main menu, it'll give you the option to name this character and customize it how you want. And so here's... Oh, let me grab a few things first. Normally all the legendary equipment's a lot harder to find, but this is a test gym, so you have an armory here, which you can, every time you pick something up, like there's not really any inventory management. Every time you pick something up, the best version of it goes to your armory, and so you can go and pick different armor sets that you're working on, and then those are all the armors. You can get all the different weapons. You can see all the different stuff I have here. Everything looks like a javelin right now because that's all we have a model for. Yeah. But yeah. And then you can look at all the stats. You can see what I have currently equipped, and then it compares if you want to... This is going to be weird, because the guy's head goes floating off, because it should be a helmet instead of a head, because it's supposed to be a helmet. But you can compare... You can see what it looks like compared to what you have equipped, so like attack speed, health, and all the different stats it might have. So like, earth armor like increases, you have that's one of the other things we haven't shown is like all of the ultimates. Like you have an ability that's called Quake, which pops all the enemies up into the air and pops up the platforms into the air. Let's see. I see a level below your HP. Do you have some sort of skill tree or just passive upgrades? You get skill points. There's no skill tree. All of the skills in the game are unlocked by defeating bosses. So let's see if I don't have any. Wow, I have a lot of money. I have 19 million gold. I don't know how I got. Oh, how did I get that much money? Probably the debug level. but I can give myself some XP. And basically, I don't have any abilities right now, so all I can put stuff into is stamina, attack, and health. But then, like, when you unlock the cleave ability, you can start putting points into that, and then it'll push guys further and do more damage. And when you unlock like the quake ability, it'll stun guys for longer. And so there's no skill
There's
trees.
also going to
but
be a respec option as well.
Yep.
You're also going to have a respec option as well.
I can actually just return to Dream Reach and go to that. And it actually explains what all this stuff does. And I've been implementing side quests. Like, there's a lot of abilities that you don't get if you just do the main story game. You have to do some side quests to unlock some of the other special abilities. Like, there's a charge attack where instead of blocking, you like charge up like Mega Man. You charge up for a few seconds, and then when you release, you do a big attack. And you don't get that one by default. You have to do some side quests to get that. Right now it's infinite scaling. We don't have a level cap. It's just keep playing, keep leveling stuff up. So what if you lose your level, put your levels in Cleave and you lose it in co-op? The way, so there's two things, two parts to the answer to that question. One is, so there's options for when someone drops in, for it to be assigned automatically, randomly, or manually. So if you do it manually, you can pick, all the players can pick, and you're sitting on the couch, and if your friend wants to be a jerk, you can try and go for co-op as well. But there's actually a system in place where it will give you, whoever has the most points in, say, Cleave, for example, will be the one who gets Cleave. So if you put in more points than anybody else, then you'll be guaranteed to get it. If somebody else has put in more points than you, then they're gonna get it. But that's if you do the auto. If you do random, then it could be anything, and then if you do manually, you can pick yourself. But if there's a tie, then it'll be whoever. So I'm going to have to just go there. But yeah, and there's a lot of little design things where I'm like, I don't know if it's as big a problem as it normally would be in an online game if I'm expecting you to be on the same couch with the other players. Because like one thing that can happen in a co-op game like this is you're all locked to the same screen, right? You don't even have your individual screens. Everybody's on the same screen. So like what happens if players run in opposite directions? Somebody asked me that once, and I'm like, well, I mean, the other person's sitting next to you on the couch. You could just turn to them and be like, where are we going? It's not like you're playing an online game where you don't necessarily have chat and you can't communicate. But speaking of that, there's actually a really good example of something I wanted to do. Oh, and I can't show it because I don't have another controller active right now. But we actually have a hint system. So like I can click on the left thumbstick and it'll give me a hint about where I need to go. Oh yeah, you played a lot of Magicka? Nice. But like, okay, so I can click on the left thumbstick. I didn't need to show you my controller. You can see it on the screen. But I can click on the left thumbstick. That'll give me a hint. If I'm standing next to a puzzle object, it'll automatically do the proper like attack. Like if I'm standing next to a cleave block and I have cleave, it'll just automatically do the cleave attack. But if I don't have the cleave attack and somebody else has it, like my friend has it, and I click it, it'll just say like or no, it'll say over here above my head and have an image of the cleave attack, and the other guys, it'll say over here with an image of the cleave attack, and then whoever has the cleave attack, their controller will rumble. So you can, if you're trying to solve a puzzle, you can run up to something and be like, hey, over here, and then their controller will rumble, and they'll get the notifications like, oh, you want me to do this. So even online, if we don't have voice chat, there are things that you can do to communicate with other players to like help solve puzzles and stuff like that. Man, so these are placeholder lightning effects. Oh, they have these. Here's some tutorials for how to do some of the combos. Do the triple slam. And here's the respec menu. Yep. Yeah, there's no skill trees in this, but basically throughout the course of the game and doing side quests, you unlock all of these, and then you can just dump a bunch of points in. And I have no points to spend right now. But you can see, whoa, something seems broken. How do I have so much stamina? Did I just put all my points into stamina? I'm level 1. What's going on?
Did you break your game again, Bjorn?
Oh, I'm constantly breaking it.
I mean, that's kind of your job, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that's not my job. My job is to fix it. I need to get somebody else that breaks it, because I'm sure there's a ton of ways that it's broken in ways that I just couldn't predict. Thanks.
Yeah, that's
the controller. So the thing about the 3D controller for showing the combos is I tried explaining verbally how to do these combos to so many people, and all of them are like, I hate it, I don't get it, I don't understand it. And this is just like, if I just show you a 3D model of it, it's like, it seems pretty straightforward. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to look at that. Like, why do I have so much stamina? Because if I'm doing these attacks, do I ever run out of stamina? No, I might actually have that much stamina. Yeah, I've never run out of stamina. It's great.
I can
Just
see
look less buggy than Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Nothing game breaking. This is game breaking in a good way. That's the thing. That's the thing you got to think about as a developer. Is like, is this game breaking in a good way or a bad way? That's game breaking in a good way. That's something that Bethesda does really well with, like, Oblivion and Fallout. Well, before Fallout 76. But the previous Fallouts and everything, they were just funny bugs. Like, I could put a bucket over somebody's head and he can't see me steal all his stuff.
I know some people that worked on Fallout 76.
Yeah.
I don't want to validate too many rumors, but basically I don't think it was meant released until someone saw it. It was meant to be an internal experiment. Saw it, said, "Oh, we could actually profit."
Oh, jeez.
So I don't work for Bethesda. I can't verify if this is or not, but this is just what I've been.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun. It's kind of funny because the thing I heard about Skyrim before it came out was like through a friend of a friend was like, oh yeah, that's the B team. That game's gonna be terrible. The A team is working on I think it was Fallout 3, or what was the Fallout that came after Skyrim? Or was it Fallout 4?
Yeah,
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They're both. Yeah. I love both. But the Cyberpunk though, like I
didn't like Fallout 3. I loved New Vegas. All of my favorite memories from Fallout 3 were actually New Vegas.
I love both.
Because the ending from Fallout 3 was like, spoilers, in case anybody hasn't played Fallout 3, was you're the one that you have to go in, or another character has to go in, but not the guy who's immune to radiation. Into some radiation thing.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah. I didn't care about the plot holes. They didn't bother me so much.
But New Vegas is so good. The plot for that is great.
Yeah. I actually like the story of 4 the best, even though that was.
Oh, that was a controversial one, right?
Yeah,
that was the one with the AI.
Yeah. But it's funny because what I tweeted about, there was some. It's getting retweeted by a few. Was just the different kinds of crunch that led to a game like Cyberpunk, which is basically, I mean, my experience, the kinds of crunch that you get the kinds of delays you get is the first kind of delay is you're trying to fix everything that's there, fix all the broken stuff, and then the other kind of delay that Bjorn and I are used to is like, hey, we got extra time, let's add a whole bunch of new features in, let's add a whole bunch of cut levels and a whole bunch of new stories, and then rather than polish what they have, they just added more stuff and started changing more stuff. And when the game comes out buggy, you're like, yeah, they probably did delay it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've worked on a game that was delayed.
Oh god, every game I worked was delayed.
Yeah.
Wait, Thief was delayed.
Oh, I don't think... Was it delayed after I started it, though?
Oh, yeah,
because
maybe.
it was delayed before, right? Oh, no, it was delayed. No, it was delayed, because it was supposed to come out for Christmas, but then it was delayed till after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Deus Ex was delayed. Like, nothing I've worked on. Wasn't Mass Effect on time?
It was on time, although there's a lot to talk about. It should have been delayed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, with games of that size, we figure out with time that the timeline is rarely functioning, right?
Yeah,
It depends on if they add more stuff or if they polish.
a lot of it
Because most
depends
of
if
the
it's a
time-
direct sequel in the same engine.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing about Assassin's Creed, is the reason they're able to pump so many of those out is because, well, generally they don't change the engine, and it's just like, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna build a couple new features, but and the other thing is like they keep a lot of the same team, so it's like it's already people that know all the tools. They worked on the last game, and they probably have a bucket of things that were like they wanted to do on the last game, but they couldn't. So they're like, all right, yeah, now we have a bit more time. Let's do that thing.
That's pretty crazy. Because like I was talking like, what was it, 15 years ago, I worked for Neversoft, which kind of got bought up by Infinity Ward, and that company, I spoke to my old lead there. He's still the old lead there, and it's pretty much the exact same team as when I left. And that's why they're able to ship Call of Duty every year. Yeah, like their machine, the engine, like driven anything. There's a lot to be said about employee retention like that. People carrying that knowledge forward, right? Rather than bringing in a whole bunch of new people, you know, trying to figure out everything from scratch, what works, what engine works, what tech works, pipeline. There's a lot to be said about the team that can ship it.
Oh my god, this isn't even, what is this?
I have no idea. I'm gonna get a seat.
Okay, so that's sphere. Wait, that's the cannon, javelin, crossbow.
Only
there's a
said,
crossbow.
please don't kill the dog in your story like.
Like what?
I love John Wick, but please don't kill the dog in our
Dog in your story. Okay, will do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this is the thing. So this is our dual crossbow, and one of the special abilities of it is if you click on a button, we don't have the animations because it's all just the javelin animation, but the idea would be like you're holding two mini crossbows, and shooting like arms spread, one in front of you and one behind you. And it even works with the combos.
Somebody played a lot of Contra back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the other thing. Oh yeah, so there's the cannon.
The more
Thing is, like
ultimate
each one should have each one has a different water opal one. Sorry, I'm running this through the editor, so it's compiling shaders right now. But yeah, each one should have a fairly different attack rate and do different amounts of damage. Come on, compile those shaders. 250 to go. Dad, I'll just hold on until it's like compiling. Oh, I'll spend some points, level up. Oh, I don't need any more stamina. I'm amazing for stamina, aren't I?
You just
What's up into
spam all your
damage?
special attacks.
Yeah. Almost there.
Oh, by the way,
there.
stamina kind of works like mana would in any other game. So basically, stamina is pretty much like your mana, and also kind of your rolling me dodge out of trouble. That's
Yep, like well, it's stamina. Like all your special attacks use stamina. So like all these use stamina. Like the explosive shot uses stamina. Oh, I don't have anything right now. Oh right. Since I have, so when you finish a legendary set of armor, which I got from the debug weapons gym, you gain special abilities. I don't know which one this is. It's hard to tell from that icon. There's a few different things it can do. Like the water one, when you dodge, it freezes everybody you pass through as you dodge. The lightning one, it'll like do a lightning strike for everyone you hit. The fire one, it's immolation, so you just go on fire and damage everybody around you. And yeah, so like, oh yeah, I love that. I'm loving that crossbow. Dual crossbows.
and that thing's
Try the cannon.
yeah, it's like a laser beam. Looks like you know those old spaceship shooters like Alpha Mission or whatever for the Neo Geo or Raiden? That's what this looks like.
Ah, yeah. Not quite.
Playing this light show.
There we go. And nope.
Oh!
Bark. Close. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. No. There we go. And yeah, that's the one I want.
Honestly, at first glance of this, I probably would have thought that you had to have
Timed it.
gotten frustrated. Yeah, I would have spent hours trying to time this thing.
You
Would've
can
gotten very
actually like
frustrated.
if
Yeah.
woo. You can actually like if you get one of them, if you get all three but one of them, it does take enough to go around the corner that you could like if you get the first two right and then one of these is off, you can actually get the third one. You can get it lined up by the time it goes around to you. Boom. So yeah, we have a procedural dungeon system. There's hundreds of puzzles. I've made hundreds of puzzles for this game. And it's something we're probably going to want to turn on too, is like, well, that's if we support online multiplayer, but like, or actually no, we don't even need to do that. I don't know, we'll figure something out for like sharing puzzles, because we could easily turn it on, like, there's tons of these procedural dungeons throughout the game, and we could easily turn on a function that's like, setting up all the networking aside, it would be relatively easy once you have the data to like download a bunch of people's puzzles that people have made, and then put them in the dungeons as you're playing through the game. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yep, and it's gonna be lots of polishing. We've got the whole campaign done. I was doing side missions today, and it's gonna be polishing the writing, all the gameplay and stuff like that. All the visuals over the next few months should be really coming together.
Yeah, and then gameplay and balance issues, I guess, will also come in line pretty soon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I haven't really done a balance pass on like the legendary stuff, because that's gonna be hard to do though, because it's like, okay, what state are people gonna be in when?
We got a question about the reactive gameplay.
Let's see. So, will the dodge mechanic be able to interrupt all your special abilities and combos? It doesn't right now. I don't know if I want. Actually, wait. Let's see. Can it?
Try.
Oh, I don't have. Hold on. Let's see.
Try the spin attack and dodge out.
Nope. We could probably do that. You can actually buffer in combos, so if you do one combo and then enter the inputs for the next one before it's done, you'll do it as soon as you finish. Like, you can see what I'm inputting, and it's like, I do the 1,000 pokes one before I even finish the combo. So you can buffer stuff in. But we don't have an interrupt.
It actually feels... Yeah, it feels pretty natural. It's kind of like Street Fighter. Like, Street Fighter doesn't really have... Like, you can't interrupt your punch, so it feels natural to me.
Yeah.
Retro.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's called... Is dodge canceling? Is when you're in the middle of something and you can dodge out of it. But that... Because the buffer idea I got from a friend who's, like, a massive Virtua Fighter fan, and he said, like, you can buffer in moves, so, like, while you're playing the animation for one, you can do the input for another one. And then it just, like, strings them together flawlessly. So, like, a big one is, like, if somebody's blocking, you do the side slash, which will break their block, and then the poke, or the triple slam.
And then again, I guess it also depends on what kind of gameplay you want to promote, right? If you have that stringing mechanic, you will have people more throwing themselves at the enemies in fights. But if you have like active dodge or parry mechanics, you'll have people fighting more carefully too.
Oh. We do actually, because we actually do encourage both. Because against the smaller enemies, you can be a lot more aggressive. but the
Yeah, for
larger
sure.
enemies take a lot more damage, and a lot of them can kill you in one hit. So we do have, like, if you time your block properly. So we have there's an auto block. If you're standing still and not doing anything, then you just automatically block. But if you're moving or attacking or anything, then you do take the damage. But if you time it properly, like, you can bounce it back. Let me see if I can get this. Yep. So you can bounce it back, and if you do that to a melee character, if you time it properly with a melee character, you will disarm them, and their weapon goes flying, and they'll attack. They'll do switch to range attack for a bit, and then if they can still pick up their weapon, they'll go pick it up. But the crazy thing is, like, when you... Because you can deflect attacks back for, like, super large guys, and, like, they'll kill you in one hit, but they also do it if you deflect it back. You deflect it back and it does a bit more damage. So it'll do a massive amount of damage to them and maybe even kill them in one hit. And that way we get like yeah. So we have very different gameplay, or encourage different gameplay depending on if you're fighting like a swarm of small guys or a couple of big guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. It gives you a way also to force people to try different things in different situations, right?
Yep. And like one of the things we didn't really talk about on stream was like we have this sort of stealth system where like you see guys walking around and combat doesn't start until one of them sees you or they take damage. And so this will give you a chance to put some thought into like which guys you want to fight, which combats you want to engage in, because you can sneak past them if you want. But if you see it's a bunch of big guys, then you might just want to like sneak past them because you don't want the fight right now, or you've gotten really good at the dodge, or you've gotten really good at the parry. So all you do is fight big guys, and you're like, oh, those small guys, now I'll just avoid them. I'll just fight the big guys.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go through. I don't think the big guys give you more XP right now. I'll have to double check that because they definitely should. And,
high risk, high reward mechanics. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I should go look at some of the other stuff I've done. I mean, it's I don't know. I don't want to blow through our whole loads. We don't have to talk about everything about the game.
I mean, we've been at this more than an hour. You can keep some for next week if you want.
Yeah,
sure.
We'll keep some for next week. We could answer any more questions if you guys have any more questions. Happy to answer. Otherwise, we might call it a night. Yeah. Cool. Phil, do
If you guys have
any questions about the combat or anything?
I don't have any questions, but if people do have some or think about some later on, don't hesitate to send it to us on Facebook, and we'll take it in consideration for the next stream for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Facebook. We're on Twitter. We have a Twitter account as well, and we're actually probably going to start up a YouTube. Well, we have the YouTube channel already. There's no videos on it, but we'll probably start putting up our old streams. Like we have a bunch of them recorded on our Google Drive. Start editing those and uploading them. There's some like there's the 10-minute like video before it starts, and then I think some things were said on a couple of those that were still under NDA, so I'll edit those out.
Sorry, it's my bad.
If you hear bleeping, it's not swearing, it's secret information. Oh no, thank you. Thanks for coming by. I think this is the biggest stream we've had so far. 9 viewers.
Yeah. Oh, we're up to 15 man. About halfway through.
You're totally worth it, Phil. This is great.
I'm doing my best. And it's only going to go up, I hope. So if I do my job right, sky's the limit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think like all the conversations we've had and everything, I think you got a lot of great ideas, and this is I think there's a lot of potential here for growth in terms of the streams we're doing and the stuff we're talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, people seem to like the product so far. So if we keep going in that direction, it can only get better and better, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. So there we go. Interview mode. Okay. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll call it a stream.
All right.
Thanks. Have a good night, everybody. Actually, should I raid? Raiding's still a thing. Should we raid somebody? Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll. Let's see. How do I do this? Oh, I gotta open up the web browser. Okay.
The stream.
Let's see. Raid channel. Okay, so I guess we're going to the mermaid. You can just say raid. That's fine. There's a friend of mine that used to work at BioWare. She's playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I might mute you and I might mute Jacques and Phil for a bit after this, so I can engage.
Right. Well, that was fun. I guess I'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Talk to you next week.
Right on. Here.
Actually, we're supposed to talk tomorrow for our weekly meeting, but
Right. Yeah, we'll do that.
Right.